So good evening, Chad. So great to catch up with you. It's been a couple of days since you went gold. Yay. So tell me, actually, let's begin because I want to hear all about being gold and what your future plans are. But I want to hear from you, like, when did you get started with Univera? And how did you hear about it? How did you get started?
Right. Well, Univera came to me. I wasn't really searching for it, but it came to me from my ex-girlfriend shared a mini with me, and from that place there, she challenged me to challenge myself for 90 days, and so I chose a pack. And then from that place of choosing a pack, I basically said yes from there. What happened was I had a pretty significant product experience in the beginning. No longer wanted to drink coffee, waking up before the alarm clock in the morning, all kinds of things that were relatively noticeable within the first week or so. And then I had some knee challenges, so got on the Regenicare, and from there started to get some pretty good results with that as well. And then someone noticed a change with me, and then from that place there, I had to do my due diligence. So I went down to the convention and met Bill and did a tour of the lab back when it was in Lacey. So this would have been back in 2008. So quite a while ago now.
Cool. Yay. And so the Magic Mini, we always talk about that Magic Mini. It's something about it. So what was the line of work that you were doing then, Chad?
When Univera came into my life, I was 2 years into a 10-year commitment, basically helping create a sustainable eco-village up in Shawnigan Lake here on Vancouver Island. And from that place there, I was 2 years in, but I had a 10-year commitment. So yeah, it was perfect timing because I sure needed the help as a natural builder for sure.
Did you know that it was a 10-year commitment, or did it become a 10-year commitment, or were you in it for 10 years?
No, I had committed to 10 years after about 6 months of being there at the program, because they were really looking for someone to really start helping lead some of the infrastructure coming up out of the ground. So I committed to 10 years pretty much after 6 months of being there. And then after 2 years of being there is when Univera found me.
So Chad, I'm just impressed with that level of commitment, and you saw it all the way through as well.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah.
That says a lot about you. So tell us then what happened about when you reached that 10-year stage.
Well, grateful to have always been sort of plugging in kind of on the sidelines with all the leadership and just kind of being around Univera and the leaders, and never ever giving it 100% of my effort, just always kind of giving it 10%. And basically it was in January, LDW last year. We made some commitments. I basically have a really good friend that I've partnered up with to do Univera. And it was January of last year, we started to create a strategy, knowing I was going to have about 6 or 7 months before I was no longer at the Eco Village, and that when I was finished there, I was going to really wanted to put my full-time energy and effort into bringing the best of nature to humankind and spreading the vision of what we got here. So that's what happened. We started a strategy. We thought when we got back to Victoria, we were going to get an office or a collaboration space, because we were meeting at a rec center every single week. So yeah, just kind of things just evolved so organically. And and then now we're here.
So what do you love about it the most?
Ooh, what a great question. What I really love about it the most, I would say, is really the people, the community. I really like watching just the attraction factor of the tribe that we've created, and then watching people come in really open and willing to take themselves to the next level, whether it be health or personal growth or purpose or whatever it might be, financial. So it's really cool to be locking arms with people, and then now kind of having a system on the ground. We have great tools and resources, but to be able to just have a support mechanism right here on the ground, so when people get started, we can really hold their hand. So that's the important part, and that's what I like. That's what I'm here for. That's what my passion is.
We had a couple from your tribe over there joining our tribe last night, Matt and his mother. And they were like, well, this is, the hub, down at the hub. So it's definitely spreading out. So Matt, you were here at Xenia for a training over the weekend. It was fantastic a few weekends ago to watch you in action and to have known you, getting on 10 years, and to have watched your development, and your level of commitment is so solid and strong. I know without a shadow of a doubt where we are looking at a diamond here, maybe a black diamond. It probably won't stop at the diamond level, but I'm just so impressed with your skill base, your understanding of the science, the products, everything that you've heard over these years. It's just at your fingertips, and your level of training and making about everybody else, not making it about you, but making it about them. These guys really look up to you, Chad. So how important is it that you hit gold last month and that you're heading now to your next level at platinum? How important is that? This is a leadership group that this recording is going out to.
Yeah, absolutely. That is actually very monumental. It's monumental not only for myself, just to be able to get back to gold, because I did manage to get there relatively quickly within 3 or 4 months after I got started in the beginning. But I was really brand new in the industry, and I didn't know really what I was doing or what it would take to grow myself into what we were gonna need to do as a team. And so yeah, basically that's where there was a huge shift for me. There's a huge shift basically in May when people started showing up and asking me questions, and I knew I was never the expert, and I just kept pointing them to the tools and the team, and then I just kept showing up and just showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up and showing up, and I will always show up. And that to me is one of the most important things that anybody can do, because it's not about me, it's just about duplicating our soul, our heart. So
right.
Yeah.
So you were gold, many years ago. You got there relatively quickly, and then you got busy with your career, and things were different in those days. We were building in different ways back then. And so over this last, year or so, since LDW last year, there's been this commitment to get to gold again, and then on from there. And I mean, the thing that's so different now is being in your, up team, I get to see the progression and the numbers. And I watched how you very steadily, sustainably, it was just kind of the next step, actually. It wasn't like a massive, okay, I got to gold this month, It was like, that was the absolute very next step. And how important is it to build that way? Because going fast, I love it. I'm all over anybody that wants to go fast. But when you go fast, you have to stay going fast for quite a long time. Your approach, you're just getting things, and you're teaching the same thing, the great, the form free, the bronze, the silver, the gold. It's a thing of beauty watching you guys.
Well, that's kind of really what I honestly wanted to duplicate. When the team and I worked together and I got back to gold for the second time, I really wanted to make sure that it was going to be really sustainable business volume, that I could actually be looking at and know where it was coming from and how the lives had been changed in the transformation. And when we're actually in deep relationship with people, it's not something that happens overnight. It's really cool to watch my business volume grow the way it is the second time around than it is the first time. Because the first time it was kind of like a wildfire, but right now we're actually going to get a blaze going on. We're stoking this little bonfire that's actually relatively small right now, but it's going and we can't stop it. And we're just going to keep feeding this fire so that it burns eternally. And that's really the goal.
And you've got a lot of other people stoking it with you. It's not you there with this big burning fire. It's just beautiful, beautiful flow. That is such a very important thing. So for a brand new person getting involved,
yep.
What level do you think a person has to be at to go to LDW in January? Do you think a brand new person should go?
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. I truly believe that if anyone wants to go to LDW, they absolutely will. But I think most importantly, the person who is inviting them to the LDW needs to be holding their hand while they're there. You know, we have a lot of different resources and tools that allow people to get introduced in a much more gentler way than maybe the LDW. It's definitely more advanced. That's why it's leadership development workshop.
Yeah.
However, it's such a safe container, and the leadership that's there is just so incredible and amazing that there's no way a new person couldn't feel the energy and the tribe just by coming.
Right.
And they'll be left better than they were found. As long as people are left better than they were found, then we did our job, and that's what's going to happen. So
a great way for a person to launch their business. So between now and the end of the year and the beginning of the year, the people that we meet, that we bring in, they are candidates for LDW, and of course, making sure that we have our tickets. What would you say to someone if they say, well, I don't have the money to go?
Right. If somebody doesn't have the money to go to LDW, basically I would say, what do we need to do to get it? It's not about not having it, because there's a whole bunch of money around. That's just a story we're telling ourselves. So I would first off actually talk to them a little deeper on a deeper level, and I would find out exactly where they're at. And then I would find out on a scale of 1 to 10 exactly how bad they really want what they say they wanted. So whatever it is they're desiring, and really get them to drop into that a little bit. And then if they were really a 10, then I would really commit to them, and I would say, okay, well, I will work with you to make sure that we can do whatever it takes to make you come. Right. So that would basically be whatever that is, acts of service, whatever that might be, to help generate the income necessary to get the tickets for those guys. Perfect.
And I think 2 points here that are so important, Chad. One is, you know, that they've got to be ready, like the willingness to readiness. I talk about the 4 stages from willingness to readiness. And I think this is a very important thing for us all to learn. Is some people are like, willing, I'm kind of willing, but you know, and they're like more willing. And then the third step is, what do I have to do? But the readiness is, they are just coming, and how they get there is irrelevant. They are coming for sure. So we need to work with people's readiness, helping them go for maybe stage 3 willingness into readiness, and definitely coming to LDW does that. Yeah. One quick thing, Chad, your whole team is being known more and more for service, how you're actually going out there meeting people and attracting people through acts of service. Tell us more about that.
Well, wow. What a transformation that has been with the process. Gosh, it's so aligned with our vision and mission too as a company. It's incredible. And so it actually kind of came accidentally, believe it or not.
Wow.
I had a really good friend of mine who was running a tow truck business and didn't want to. And he's an artist, an incredible artist. And he was really doing stuff and wasn't very happy. And then basically his tow truck broke down. And anyways, he called me, like we were in relations, and I was building a relationship with him. And basically I said, well, what do we need to do to help you become an artist again, man? And he said, I got to sell this tow truck, but I got this inspection. And I said, well, what if I was to help you get the tow truck fixed so we could sell it? And he's like, would you? Like, he couldn't even believe I offered my services. And then what I noticed over the next couple of days as we were hanging out together and doing what was important to him to get him to the next stage where he wanted to go, the trust and respect that we had built over that day was just, you couldn't replace it. And basically at the end of it, he was absolutely ready and willing to join the team and take his health to the next level and understand prevention instead of treatment. And it was a bond that you couldn't even break if somebody tried. And so then what I did was I actually got a couple people on my team. They were scheduling one-on-ones, and I'm like, let's not do a one-on-one. Why don't you just call them up and say, if there was 1 or 2 things that we could help you with right now, what would that be? And so all of a sudden, a couple people on the team went out and did a couple acts of service, and all of a sudden those people got started. And then so then I told a couple of other people, and then all of a sudden, cross team, Amy went out, and she was having trouble getting this girl Genevieve engaged, and she'd come to maybe 6 exposures. And I said, well, why don't you call her up and just see what you can do to support her? And it was a night that Neil Tesler was going to be doing a broadcast. And so Amy called her up and said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll come over and help you paint your kitchen, because that's what she wanted to do. I'll come over and help you paint your kitchen, which will free you up to come to Neil tonight. And then all of a sudden she showed up to Neil, and she still didn't get started, but then Amy went on the weekend and helped her paint her kitchen, and they had great discussions. And then Amy showed up on Monday at the office all excited about how as soon as they were done painting, Genevieve was super excited to get started. So all of a sudden, just this little act of service to help someone get something off of their mind and off of their plate that was preventing them from being able to move forward in almost anything in their life. It was just this thing that happened, and now it's becoming contagious here in Victoria.
Wow.